Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coin's Reaction Zone and another series that I will be reacting to. So, this one is going to be the entire Scooby-Doo franchise. I've always been a big fan of Scooby-Doo. I've always watched what I could of the show, but I've never watched it in its entirety. So, a little bit of backstory about me and like my foray into it. I was born in 1998, so I'm 25 currently at the time of this recording. The Scooby Doo that I grew up with was basically Boomerang reruns because I loved the Boomerang channel. It was one of my favorites. I watched it all the time until it slowly got pulled off. I love the Flintstones, the Jetsons, Wacky Races was one of my favorites. I loved that show so much. Scooby Doo was up there. My Scooby Doo era was basically What's New Scooby Doo. Mostly the first two DVDs I had of What's New Scooby Doo. So it was the first 8 episodes of the show was what I owned, and I watched those all the time. Then a couple snow episodes, like in the middle of like season 3 or whatever, was like a snow yeti and stuff like that. And that's the ones me and my brother watched. And then the movies, I've watched a good amount of the movies actually, so I have the list up on me. So there's 56 total Scooby Doo movies slash specials slash short films and theatrical films. I've seen probably about half of them. So pretty good foray into it. A couple episodes here and there, a pup named Scooby-Doo. The first 4 episodes of Where Are You I've seen several times trying to get back into the show whenever I bought a Boomerang subscription. So I'm back to watching it, and I've always wanted to do the whole series. I'm doing it in release order of shows and movies and things. So the first movie is a special called Scooby-Doo Goes Hollywood in 1979. But I'm starting with Scooby-Doo Where Are You? And I'm going in order. So I'm really, really excited to get into this. Our first episode is Scooby-Doo What a Night for Night, one of the most classic episodes in the entire franchise. It was originally released on September 13th, 1969, and is episode 1 of Scooby-Doo. So the current Scooby-Doo rating, based off of the last one, was Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, and the last Scooby-Doo episode was released on October 1st of 2021. That is episode 26 of that season, which is episode 428 in the entire Scooby-Doo franchise. So 428 episodes to get through. So I will be doing 2 to 3 episodes a week, depending on time. And then whenever a movie drops, basically on that line. So, for example, the Scooby-Doo special. So that will be in the Scrappy-Doo era, and that will be right after The Scarab Lives, which is episode 1 of the first incarnation of the Scrappy-Doo era. So right after that episode, it'll be basically only probably one episode a week, and then the movie drops or special drops on that Friday. So that's the initial plan of how I'm going to do it. I also have a legal pad for everything I'm going to write down because I just thought it'd be fun to actually treat it like a real case, like I'm trying to solve it with clues and things that they discover. From what I can recall, I'll know the first 4 of the bad guys, and then maybe my memory will unlock here and there as I go and into the episodes. I've seen the first season of Mystery Incorporated, the most popular iteration of Scooby-Doo, and I've seen episodes here and there, like I mentioned, and most of the movies, how I react to them and like how it holds up for me in my head, especially What's New Scooby-Doo whenever I get to that, since that was definitely my favorite series and pretty much the only series I watched in most of its entirety. So in Scooby-Doo Where Are You? Our current cast members are Don Messick. I don't even know if I'm going to pronounce any of the voice actors right. Who's the original voice of Scooby-Doo before, Frank Welker took over later down. And then Casey Kasem, who is the original voice of Shaggy. Frank Welker, who, as you know, one of the most prolific voice actors, started with Scooby-Doo. That's where basically his career took off. Original voice of Fred. And then Stefania Christopherson, who was the original voice of Daphne, but only in season 1 of Where Are You, which is very interesting. And then Nicole Jaffe, who is the original voice of Velma. It's kind of interesting to see like all the different iterations, all the different voice actors that go through the show, but it still mostly has the same heart throughout, which I really enjoy. Getting to the first episode, I will be watching it on 1.5 speed because that's just how I watch shows like this that are just slightly slow but moves at a little bit of a quicker pace. And I am going to be rating each episode as I go just to have an overall rating of a series. This one was written by Ken Spears and Joe Ruby and then directed by Hanna-Barbera. As you know, we're the creators of the show. Here we go. Let's just get right into it. Oof. I haven't heard the original intro in so long. I love it. And then just a quick aside, I'm also probably going to be writing down who captures the villain in the episode and other things that interest me later on down the line, because I would love, with 428 episodes of the series and then like over 60 movies, it's going to be exciting to see like in giant numbers of like how strong each character is based off of the episodes. So it's going to be very arbitrary on my stats and stuff, but just whatever interests me during the time. My initial freaking plan was to actually make it into a drinking game, but I feel like that'd be way too intense. I'm just gonna just have fun with it. Okay, we got our first character. Beautiful mustache on him, like Jameson Hyde White.
The name on the crate says Jameson Hyde White, Professor of Archaeology, London, England. What? I've heard of Hyde,
and our first,
but I've never heard of Hyde White.
First suspect is from London.
An English name, you comedians. Hey, what's this? It's a delivery label that says, "Deliver to the County Museum." So that's where
County
the old
Museum.
is headed for.
That's using the old noodle, but like...
Yeah, then it just starts you right in the thick of it, which was a lot of the cartoons and stuff did back in the day.
Thank you for finding the Black Knight, but with Professor Hyde White's mysterious disappearance and all, I wish you hadn't.
Why is that, Mr. Wickles?
Because of
Mr.
the legend.
Winkles.
Legend.
Yes, the Black Knight is supposed to come alive when the moon is full.
Like, wow, the moon was full last night.
Then what was the professor doing with tall, tin, dark, and creepy?
So it's interesting though that the dude that's
Where do you want it, Mr. White?
driving is also delivering it. Oh gosh.
Scooby-Doo!
A copper lion statue.
We're leaving.
And you could tell it's an important clue because it's animated completely differently, like it's shining and everything like that. We got spectacles. It reminds me of the spectacles from like National Treasure.
Man, I wonder what kind of groovy things you see with those. Well, there's one way to find out.
It's always so weird seeing how long of the neck that they made for Scooby-Doo in this one. It's a bit natural since he's a greyhound, but it's still kind of weird.
And hold on to your hula hoops. It says here, made only in England.
Made in England.
England?
So that's enough.
Hyde White.
Yep, I was about to say, that's another
Something fishy going on
tick
back
against Hyde White. And then when we get all the clues before the unmasking, I'm gonna try and pause the video, see how my trigger finger is, just so I can make my guess. But Scooby-Doo is usually the first guy you meet is usually the bad guy, so.
Easy.
I like the little detail in the mystery machine. Like the med kit, the lantern, the pickaxe and stuff. Like they're prepared for everything. I really like how they do that. Like look at that, that saw. That freaking jack and ladder thing would definitely not work in real life. It's so precarious.
Open the back door. Right. Watch me swing right in.
That was a great agility right there. There's so many artifacts that he destroyed. Let's do property. Ooh, that'll be a good one. Let's do property damage. So let's do Shaggy Museum artifacts. Let's say $100,000.
Creepy during the day.
Nice even number.
Split up. Daphne and I'll go this way. You two go that way. And Scooby, stand guard. Did you do it for a Scooby snack?
Oh, first iteration of Scooby Snacks. Ooh, that's another one. Scooby Snacks eaten in the show. 2. Yeah, the first iteration of the split up too. I'm not gonna write down split ups because they split up every episode, so that doesn't really matter. Alright, random hand in the coffin peeking out. Oh, I do that all the time whenever I'm go to bed or it's nighttime. I always shut down doors and things. I agree with Shaggy right there. Better safe than sorry. Bit of a cheap thing, but you know, he's supposed to warn you whenever there's an issue. Oh no, his mouth is still open, so that doesn't even matter. Scary. I would just pick her up and run, or like something. That was just rude. Digging into a flower pot, leaving her be. You would never leave the girl, man. Don't leave anybody. Locked up. With how he is right, couldn't they unmask him right now? And she just has like Robitussin, just in a bottle, just with her. Of course he comes out right as they run by. They could have just unmasked him right there, man. Just ended the episode. A dinosaur's animated differently. He's gonna do something stupid. It's gonna collapse for sure. Yep. Broken dinosaur sculpture. There's some more damage. Oh my gosh! A Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton fetches up to $10 million. That's insane.
There's a picture missing from the wall.
I'll give it 5 mil.
Maybe that's a clue.
Picture missing from the wall. Okay.
There's no picture missing, Shaggy.
Well, it was a minute ago. It's paint. And look.
Good for Fred for immediately sticking his finger in it, though.
Follow that paint.
That's creepy.
Hey, look,
Secret. Yay.
Somebody
Paintings.
sure is a messy housekeeper.
So somebody's faking paintings
and look at that.
for money.
Paintings exactly alike.
And there he is again.
Leave it to Daphne to pick the wrong door. Zoinks!
Where's his... I'm forgetting. In that shot, though, he lost his fluffy boy. I know the technical term for it because I love history, but I just honestly forgot. Oh, here we go. The necessary joke of messing with the bad guy. Gotta do it. That bear rug was really holding on, though, onto them. They're really making that work. That teamwork was so great that they just went on the bell ride without even speaking to each other. Cartoon figures, man. Gotta love them. Just 3 people fitting in that tiny tank thing. And then that plane animated differently, so you know they're there. Those eyes were so lifeless.
It can get us out of this jam. Help! Let me out of this pot.
That's really strong skills right there. Just throw some reverb on it.
Help!
Oh my gosh. That's definitely how it works. They're definitely commissioned with gasoline and everything. Oh my gosh, that's double damage from them.
Zoinks! Scooby! We did it, Scooby-Doo!
Alright, so we are at the part where they unmasked the bad guy. And I think, based off the clues, Mr. Winkles is the only one we've seen in person. The mustache guy was delivering the package, but he disappeared. And Mr. Winkles, besides those 2 delivery guys, is the only person we saw, so he has to be the bad guy. So Mr. Winkles is the Black Knight.
Just as we thought.
Easy peasy.
Curator, Mr. Wiggles.
Acting like it's a big solve.
We never would have.
I like how the 2 delivery guys, our only other characters, are the ones in the background.
And they made the fakes at night in a secret workshop behind the mummy case.
Yes.
That's why they had to get rid of the professor. He was the only one who could have spotted the fakes. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, Professor Hyde White.
Of course, he found a shoe right at the end, just so they can resolve this plot point.
Professor Hyde White!
Based off of other shows and stuff we know, like of action movies, we know that he could have made some kind of sound whenever they walked by or something like that. Like, there's stuff he could have done.
He managed to get into the armor down at the train
Where's
station.
he stuffed in the
And like on the way
mouth?
to the museum, he made you disappear. Zoinks! He's alive!
They always do that. He always wears the costume at the end. All the good hits. Alright, and that was Scooby-Doo, What a Night for a Night. Episode 1. Jameson Hyde White. From London, England, delivering a package of the Black Knight. Mr. Winkles. Art Fraud was our first episode bad guy, so simple one. No murder, no craziness. And we had a pretty good episode. So for me, it was very straightforward, based off the classic episodes of the show, because this is the classic episode. First episode of the entire series. Sets off some ground rules. Scooby Snacks, skirting the law to get things done. Zoinks, Jinkies, losing the glasses. All the hits that will be further on for the next 428 episodes. Really exciting stuff. For me, I think I'm going to rate this episode a 6 out of 10. Because based off I know how the show goes on later on, this one is definitely one that will build on this and change how I view these characters further down the line. So I'm really excited to see where we go from here. I think 6 is perfect. So a couple stats, just because I thought it was fun. Scooby ate 2 Scooby Snacks, so I'm going to say SB, that I will keep track of as we go. I looked it up after the episode. It's going to be property damage. So Shaggy destroyed those museum artifacts crawling inside. So that's 100 grand, just arbitrary number. Scooby, I said it in the episode that it was $5 million that I picked, but he only broke the tail, and Tyrannosaurus Rex skeletons, the entirety go up to $10 million. So since he only wrecked the tail, I'm gonna say $2 million for that. And then Scooby and Shaggy both destroyed the propeller plane wings, and those are pretty expensive, especially that old timey one. So I'm gonna say 10 grand for that. Shaggy is up to $110,000 property damage, and Scooby is at $2 million and $10,000. So pretty good property damage already on the first episode. That's pretty insane. The Vilma losing her glasses and the group splitting up happens in every episode, so I'm not gonna really write it down. It's just the simple stats that I thought would be really enjoyable. Maybe as we go further down the line, I can come up with some other stats for the other characters just to make it fun for myself. I'm enjoying it, of course. You know, I've watched the first 4 episodes several times, different episodes of the series several times as well, through reruns and re-syndications through Boomerang and other sites. So I'm really excited to continue on, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you everyone for watching. Have a great day.